As of this video, this is a first time watch. A film that has since helped pave the road for the beautiful animation movies that we have today. Released originally in 1937, Snow White was the first of its kind, due to people believing that a feature-length animation will not hold moviegoers' attention. Thanks to an incredible team of nearly 750 artists, a tank load of money costing about $1.4 million, that is nearly $250 million in today's money. A whole lot of dedication and a belief in what was being created. Now over 90 years has passed and it is revered as the greatest animation of all time by many. Yes, thanks to its historical relevance, but also the quality to this day shines bright. This being my first experience sitting down and watching this film, I was expecting a lot more warmth and tenderness. I was pretty shocked how dark and frankly scary some of the stuff was really early on. I mean, the Queen has a box for Snow White's heart to be housed in after her murder. And then, before the ultimate introduction of the beloved characters where she meets the Seven Dwarfs, the forest that she vanishes into, and the creepy trees and the tree bark crocodiles. I mean, I'm almost pretty glad that I never watched this as a child growing up, because this would have been pretty terrifying. But doing what it was supposed to, in creating the emotion towards the Queen, with, even after all of this time, people still having that feeling as adults looking back. After all that creepiness though, we get to see what Disney is best known for to this very day, the cute animal friends, and from this moment on, I was hooked. The beautiful singing from Adriana Caselotti voicing Snow White, and it is just that nostalgic sound very particular to the movies and the music around this time, with that slight crackle in the audio. The amazing score throughout helping accentuate the movements of these characters and the brilliance of orchestral music, and why it's such an integral part of this film, but Disney's soon-to-be future animated hits. The movie was actually nominated for the best score in 1938 at the Academy Awards, but unfortunately it did lose out to 100 Men and One Girl. That sounded like something not so family friendly. Sorry, I meant 100 Men and a Girl, if that sounds any better, but that is correct. I found myself on many occasions to unknowingly follow along the characters' actions in their shock, despair and curiosity. And tingling with goosebumps. I loved the musical numbers and couldn't help but bob along. One of my favourites being cleaning up the old house she finds with the animals, of course housing the Seven Dwarfs. It reminded me a lot of Hang Out the Washing on the Siegfried Line, which certainly has a different meaning to it, but nonetheless it did sound a lot like it. And it was good. And of course, the iconic Hi-ho, hi-ho. Hi-ho. It's home from work we go. With each dwarf having their own personality trait, each with their own unique presence on screen. Me personally, I could relate to Grumpy and Sleepy the most, especially as I grow older with these grey hairs coming up. But I loved all of them, and it was hilarious seeing them interact with each other, especially how sometimes they are total opposites of one another. The Evil Queen was a truly scary villain, being a great contrast to Snow White's innocence, the beautiful characters and the enchanting world surrounding them all. And when she becomes the witch, it's truly a thing of nightmares, and even as a 30-year-old, I was yelling at Snow White not to take the darn apple. The whole transformation of the Queen had me relating it to a recent horror hit in 2025, all these years later, The Substance. If you know, you know. Of course, not as gory, but just as effective, and just another example of the movie's brilliance and foresight. Even though I was aware of the ending, it still caught me with a premature sad feeling, as it appears to be the end of the movie before revealing the prince and the joy of a happy ending, when normally I would have leaned more towards the enjoyment of leaving it with her dying. But yes, that said, I did enjoy the now stereotypical happy Disney ending. You can see at every turn the love and passion that has been involved in the 3 years that this was put together in. Something that a lot of people I think can agree on is seriously lacking in movies in general these days, but especially coming from Disney. This film in large part is possibly one of the best examples to why I have such a problem with these Disney live action remakes that they just insist on releasing. The whole point of animation is you can get away with the fantastical elements of these fairy tales, and you can bring such expressions to these characters and or animals, with the bright colourful palette and all of its whimsy. It just simply does not translate the same in live action. I almost feel that I have to bow my head in shame that I have waited this long to watch this movie, but I am so glad and fulfilled that I finally did come to do so. The greatest of all time? I'm not so sure on that. It is though a very unfair comparison with how far technology has come and will inevitably have pushed in the future. There is no doubt, however, this will be held with the utmost respect and in such high regard for the eternity of human existence. And when your base of movies is this strong, it puts Walt Disney's genius in perspective and why the company is as big and powerful to this day. Thank you for joining me on this review, and it was a pleasure to go back and watch this really impressive animation movie. But leave your thoughts down in the comments. It's always great to see you down there, and I'll enjoy hearing everybody else's thoughts and perspectives on this movie and every other movie.